G'day, everybody. Now, I want to talk about an alien helping, but not helping too much. And an alien helping in that era. And what I mean by that, I can put out a point to try to explain it. We know that the Jewish people had their spiritual connection, right? Which could have been alien, could have been a lot of things, right? Because you can put it in this but spiritual connection. Spirits are an alien, right? And they end up writing down their rules of what their connection, their being gave them to help them upgrade, that they could understand to upgrade and be able to do, right? So they can upgrade a little bit. And one of their upgrades is what I'm going to talk about is circumcision. To me, as soon as I hear it, like, ah! Because back in the day, if you didn't get to shower too much, and you rolled around in shit and other yucky things, and you weren't going to shower for a while, or you got a wound or something got caught on something, man's junk hanging around probably wasn't so secure back in the day either, right? And so, and these men are dying young because of dick problems, right? And so, what the alien could have done with is some advice to help them, not help too much, but we're going to help them live longer, and so their dicks don't fall off and they get and die and get problems. And so, to help that, is that the alien will give them a bit of advice, which they did, which is why they got all these books, right? And one of the advices was, you pull your skin a little bit forward. You can do it, Mr. Caveman, right? And you can get your sharp little knife you got there, and you go, ah! And we'll call it circumcision. It's going to be in your religion for a while until you get to another stage, and you might come back again, and you might get another upgrade. You get it? People get these upgrades. They might come back. Did that happen? Who says it's not going to happen again in another different form? And every time something happens, it might be a little bit similar, like the story can be similar. They turn up again, right? It's similar. But it doesn't mean the story is going to be the same. Doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing either. And yet they might do a similar thing. Who knows? That's life. But more likely when it comes to upgrades, they're going to be different. Something else is going to happen. They're coming and tell you, oh yeah, that's how it goes. And they might even tell you to stop doing something. Like what we do when we upgrade. You don't need to do that now. Huh? You don't need to go bash your clothes now. We told you to do that, and that's how you do your clothes. But you got the washing machine now. You say banging the clothes doesn't sound very, cool, is it? You got the washing, you got the upgrade, right? So you don't need to do that anymore. So when it comes to circumcision, we don't circumcise people. We don't need to do that anymore, as we can keep clean, and usually it would help it keep it clean longer anyway, because that's why it covers up and this might be a funny subject to some out there, but that's what it is. Naturally, it's meant to be there. Definitely if you use your brain and did things right anyway, and this is what we do. And so you don't need the circumcision, huh? Because it now becomes a bad thing, because when they did that, what it does is it exposes, when they do that, all your sensitive areas down there. And then what your body does, naturally, is that it'll get used to that. So when it first exposed, it's sensitive. It's like someone touching, because it's meant to go back and be those, sexual pleasure areas. But now they're fully exposed, they get not so sensitive anymore. The body will get used to it, and you'll get that feeling not so much. So now it needs a really good rub and not just a little touch kind of thing. It does that. And so these people usually that have been circumcised can't feel the pleasure of sex as good in the end. And I'm pretty sure that scientists talk about this. I haven't really gotten into the shows, but I'm just saying this just by logic, and I'm pretty sure I'm right when it comes to that, because I've heard a bit about it as well, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And so they don't get to have sex as good, so they're losing a pleasure now for a benefit that they don't need anymore, which is, so they're better to run around in dirty, yucky mud. More likely their dick's not going to fall off. It's the only benefit, but they're losing everything else, right? And so these days you don't want to circumcise. You don't need to do it. And so hopefully, if it was a religion thing, and you don't want to stop because you want to stick to the words of what you're being told until your next if you can't change yourself, because things are meant to be changed. They've mentioned things like that. Is that over time, if you know it's right, and there's other rules that mention about things, is that you should change it, definitely if it needs to be, and you got a really good reason to do it. But if you want to keep it, you can keep it. If you're happy about things, keep it. But when it comes to circumcision, as far as I'm concerned, and this is my opinion, that one day for them, hopefully, they will stop because it doesn't need to be done. And I don't see the benefits in it than what they're losing, like I've just mentioned, what occurs by that happening. And the people who've had it, they won't even really understand some of it if you get it done when you're younger about what is better sex. Like they could try to fight it that it doesn't, but people have had it not done and then had it done later on in accidents and that, and I'm pretty sure that's how they found out. So I'm pretty sure we're right when it comes to they're losing sexual pleasure if you get circumcised. So that's not a good thing. And if you're thinking getting circumcised is a good thing, as far as I'm concerned, it's not. But anyway, that's my opinion, and I don't want to get in the bad books of anyone. And like I said,